Mm.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Oh,
Hello.
I'm being blasted by sun.
Sun's out. Oh, wow. Oh, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. It was nice to see you today, Bronte.
I know. Did you get too wet today, or you're okay?
Oh, a bit wet. Not too bad, though. Yeah, it was fun.
Nothing that hasn't happened before, I'm sure.
Exactly. I was just glad to be out of the house.
Yes, yeah, so good.
When we were
That's
at
so
Bonte,
good.
it started raining, so we walked home in the rain. Yeah, but it was fun.
That's awesome. I'm just going to
The
see
girls
if
had
I
a
can.
lovely adventure.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. I was just trying to see if I could live stream the recording straight into the Facebook group, but it won't let me, so that's fine. Well, good. It's great to have you both here. How are you? How are you both going and traveling?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Not too bad. Well, I told you today I'm struggling to keep up with everything.
With the course.
Yeah. I mean, everything in general. I'm just juggling so many different balls at the moment that like for a week or two, my focus has really been on NDIS stuff, and the course has just had to take a back seat while I sort of get through that.
Yeah, but, sure.
Getting,
so I'm pretty sure you get lifetime access. So yeah, and I just want to make tonight as practical as possible. Just and I'd love to hear if you've found any way to, and maybe you need a little bit more context, which I'll give you, but have you found any pockets, any moments where you've been able to be with the parts of yourself, whether that's in your body as a feeling, or just noticing what is running through your mind rather than kind of being in the story? Has there been space between you and the story that's coming?
I've had a few moments where I've just really consciously tried to slow down, and a lot of the time it's around meals, around eating, where I go, oh my gosh, I'm literally shoveling it in, trying to just get to the next thing and get this done. And so that's meal times. I feel like that's a big prompt for me to go, no, hang on, slow down.
Beautiful.
And Ivy's had a few doozies lately where I felt like I've been able to just chill out there with her and keep calm.
So just like being on the ground with her and just letting go of the schedule as such, or moving on to the next thing, and just there can be some I'm not sure if comfort's the right word, but that surrender in letting go of how you think the day should go, and actually just it's okay to just be here on the floor for the next while.
Surrender is the perfect word. I think we first started surrendering when it came to Ellie's sleep when she was about 18 months old, and we realized the difference it made if you just stop fighting. Stop trying to make it look a certain way, or
Anyway, been a really busy couple of weeks. I don't know. I feel like I get to the end of the day and then I'm like, oh, I should have thought about doing that.
Yeah. And that's why these calls are a good reminder.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm a bit further along in the course than you. But, I haven't been doing the homework properly, if that makes sense. Like I haven't been spending the time thinking about those things so much.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like it's however you can and want to use the course. And I know what it's like to try and fit a course in amongst, you know, work and family and everything. So it's a lot. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to just simplifying it tonight. So, and I also want to say that what you're learning is it can, you can come to, you can take a lifetime to implement it, whether it's in your life or with the girls, and this goes for everyone who's listening to the recording, your child. So you might just find that just dropping one question in is that's how you're utilizing these skills. Or perhaps it's just being able to hold space, or for yourself, whether that's for yourself or for your child. Like, that's what this is. Obviously there's with KI, you can really go to the depths of, you know, deep shame and pain, and there are people who do practice this and really don't go, you know, all in, and at the same time, you know, for example, my KI practice, just then I had my mother-in-law call. I could feel a twang in my whole being, you know, and it's like, okay,
Can
that's
we
my
relate?
sorry.
Can we relate to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's KI practice too. That's, you know, just noticing and being aware of what is here. Yeah, so it's not, especially as parents, I think we need to keep in mind that this is a taste, and you're dipping your toes in, and yeah, get as much out of the course as you can, and at the same time, I think you have lifetime access. But I also know what it's like, you know, once the course is done, it's like, oh, that's done. But I think you have access, and of course, for those of you who are having one-on-one sessions, you'll be receiving more support as well.
Yeah, I need to schedule them in, and I really want to get going with that.
Yeah, beautiful, excellent. Yep, that will be really supportive. So just wait, Jane is jumping in, and just wait for Jane to jump in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hey, Jane.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, my phone rang at the worst time just then. I couldn't figure out how to stop it because all my devices just lit up like a Christmas tree. Sorry. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
That's why.
Very good to see you.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you here again.
And I'm sorry you hear you have to go in for surgery.
Yeah, don't worry. Thank you for your kind words, but it's preventative surgery. It's nothing's actually wrong. I'm just having some surgery. I have a gene mutation which increases my risk of breast cancer, and cancer's really strong in my family. So it'll this surgery will help kind of reduce the risk.
Yeah, I wish you all the best with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, us too, Bronte.
Yeah. Yes, thank
you.
you.
Anything, we're just around the corner, so sing out. I meant to say that today before we left.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you don't have enough on your plate.
I know. Hey, it's always nice to think about someone else's worries.
So true. Yeah. Yep. Very good. All right. So today module 5 is about processing any problem. So if you think about you'll now understand that the more you understand how to do this yourself, the more that you can support your kids to do this. So what this is really to learn how to be with yourself. So learn how to notice and be aware of your thoughts and your feelings. So any kind of problem that you or your child have, what is really creating that problem is only two things: thoughts and feelings. And the more that we resist our thoughts and feelings, the more we think we have to fix something, or we need to escape ourselves in some form of, addictive pattern. Maybe we keep ourselves busy with work, or maybe we find ourselves on social media or on screens. Maybe we like shopping. We all have these coping mechanisms. Sometimes even I think we all can abandon ourselves and kind of take on other personas and not necessarily be ourselves, but be inauthentic in who we are, just to avoid these thoughts and feelings. So what we're doing here is we're learning how to build a capacity to feel safe and to stay with our own experience. And I think what will be best, and what the way I've done it with my kids, especially, I'm going to talk about feelings here. So feelings are big, but they're not all big. Some of their feelings are, enjoyable. So when you're working with feelings with your children, start with the feelings that are easy. So pick the times where your children are feeling good, excited, maybe even they're feeling a little bit nervous, but start with something that's easy and manageable for them. And your first step to help them connect the dots between a feeling and actually feeling it, which is to stay with the experience, is to ask them, where can you feel that in your body? So it could look like something like, how are you feeling about going to whatever they're excited about? And they might say, happy, right? And that's a really simple response for young kids especially. And then your next direct question can be something like, and where can you feel that in your body? Now, some kids will just know straight away, other kids won't, and that's when modeling can come in. So that's when you want to be more kind of actively engaged with, well, how do my feelings feel in my body? And this is certainly not something that we learnt as children, but this is absolutely something that can support you when you're struggling mentally or, emotionally. So I think I might have shared a few on my last call that I was having a down couple of weeks before the last call, and the thing that saved me was actually coming to feel the sadness that was in my body. It was like a heaviness. The more I stayed in my head, the worse, I was like, oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm doomed. I'm going to be, depressed for the rest of my life. I've just written a book and I'm a fraud and I've still got depression. But the more that I actually came to the body, the safer I felt. It was like, okay, I'm just sad. And that's okay. So the more that you can, you might just say, oh, really, I feel so happy in my chest that the sun's out this morning. So it doesn't have to be like a put on thing. It can be just your own authentic expression of something that you are actually happy about. It doesn't have to be this show for the kids, like, oh, I can't wait for school. I can't wait to drop, or like, you wouldn't say that. Can't wait to drop your kids off at school. But, just make it real. The more real, your kids will pick up on when you're just, you're putting on a show and they tune out. My kids are really good at showing me that. So do you see what I'm saying? Start with the easy emotions first, and your first port of call, your first question is, after you've identified the feeling, the next question is, where is it in your body? So I'm going to get the parent worksheet up that I put in the Facebook group. If you haven't, I think I really hyped this up last call, but I'm just so proud of this sheet of paper. I just want to say this is valued at thousands of dollars because it's taken me years to be able to simplify KI into one sheet. So if you have not printed this out, I highly recommend that you print this out for you and for your kids. And I'm going to walk you through it because what we've done in KI for Parents and Children is simplified this approach down to 4 skills that your kids are learning. So the first skill is to identify. So just as in the examples that I've given, your child has identified that they're happy. Okay, so they've identified the happy, and then when we ask the question, where is that happy in your body? They're identifying where it is. So that's the very first step, to identify. The second step is to rest with it. So that's helping your child to stay with the feeling. So the more that they can stay with the feeling, the less they have to escape themselves, and the more they can feel safe with their experience. It's such a profound skill to have. So I'm going to share my screen now and get this worksheet up so you can see all the questions that you can have a go at asking. I better share screen first. So you can see my screen, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Alrighty, we'll just wait for that to load. So the 4 skills are, just while this is loading, is the first one is to identify what's here. And when we're just working with feelings right now. So what feeling can you identify? The second skill is, can you rest with the feeling? And then the third step is, can you support that feeling? And the fourth skill is, can you inquire? Now, the supporting and the inquiring is what you'll focus on next module. And what you use supporting and inquiring when your thoughts and feelings are stuck. So most of your child's thoughts and feelings, you can help them process them just by identifying them and resting with them. Does that make sense? All right. So this is the sheet, and I'm just going to zoom right in here because we really only need the top bit this week. Okay. So you can see on the left-hand side, we have the 4 skills. So identifying, which is to find out what thoughts and feelings are here. And the second skill is to rest with the thoughts and feelings. So that is to be mindful and curious with the thoughts and feelings. And if you can remember all about the nervous system, when the nervous system is in a state of connection and your child is in that window of tolerance, that's when they can be curious and mindful about their thoughts and feelings. But when they're dysregulated, they might be having a tantrum, they might need help to just feel safe. And that's when we're inviting you guys to hold space for your child so they can co-regulate with you and come back to that place of safety and connection and curiosity and mindfulness. And then the next step is to show them how to process their thoughts and feelings. Now, the thoughts is to give you a little bit of a ballpark. I wouldn't really try to help a child probably any younger than 10 to process their thoughts, especially with words. They might have pictures, but you know, it takes maybe an 8-year-old can start processing pictures, but anyone younger, I'd focus on the feelings, just focusing on the feelings first. So start with the feelings. This is kind of age appropriate. Start with the feelings from like to actually feel and describe from about 4, depending on the developmental age. And then from, I'd say around 8 to 10, you could probably invite them to start processing their thoughts through pictures. And then kind of 10 onwards, you can start asking them, you can show them and guide them how to process their thoughts through words. All right. So what I've just described to you before was identifying. So let's identify a feeling. These are the two questions to ask. How are you feeling? And then where is that feeling in your body? So I'm going to take you through now the resting skill. And once we've done that, I'm going to invite you guys to process your own feelings just by using these questions here. Because it's quite methodical. Like, it's like, okay, this is why KI works so well, because it's methodical, it's step by step, there's a structure to it. It's not like, oh, I'm in my feelings and they're so big and I don't know what to do with them and I just want to, talk about how bad life is. It's actually step by step. There's a process here. So let's just go back to the example of this. Your child is happy and they can feel maybe they feel a warmth, a warm, nice feeling. They use words like, it's nice. And so that's where the modeling can come in, as again, where you can model on a different day and say, well, I can feel prickles in my cheeks. I can feel tingles in my hands. So we're looking for descriptive words, but it takes children a while, even adults actually, to get a handle on using a descriptive term rather than, well, it's grief, or it's it's a bad feeling, or I just want it to go away. What we're looking for is it hard? Is it tight? Is it scratchy? Is it heavy? Is it like a ball? Is it moving? We want like the actual description of how it feels. Okay, so let's read through. These are the questions to ask, and keep in mind this example of our child who has the warm, nice feeling in her chest. So you can ask then these questions to help her rest with, be mindful and curious with this feeling. So these are some examples of things that you can ask. Can you show me the size of the feeling with your hands? So just can you show me how big is that warm bit in your chest? And they can show you. Then you can ask, if she said something like, it feels nice. And you might like to say, does it feel? Give them examples, right? Because they don't always have the word. So it's like, give them examples of what it could feel like. So is it warm, or is it gloopy, or does it like want to run through your body, or does it just want to stay where it is? Is it heavy? Is it tight? Does it have a color? Is it moving or still? Okay, so that's what you're doing there, is you're helping them to stay in their body. So rather than like in the head of, oh, this is a mess, we're just being with the experience. So the more that they are learning how to be with the experience, the less that they're freaking out in their head, and the more they're processing this feeling that is arising. Now, the next part is about space. So this is very, as I said before, step by step. So can you see firstly, we've worked out where it is, we've identified it, then we've described it. And now what we're doing is we're finding space around the feeling. So finding space around the feeling will help your child feel safe with the feeling. And again, I'm inviting you to start with easy feelings, but finding the space will help your child feel safe in when you're working with like bigger feelings. So here's an example. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving. I was driving and just on some some dirt roads, and there was a huge, not a goanna, but what's a blue tongue? There was a blue tongue on the road, and I was driving slowly, and I was showing the kids. I said, "Look, there's a big blue tongue on the road," and then all of a sudden I ran over it.
Oh.
I don't. I don't quite know how that happened, but I don't know. I just didn't stop in time or something. And I was so excited to show them, and then they didn't see it. And then we heard it just literally explode. And
no.
then I had to, you know, we had a dead animal right there. So it was like processing this animal was alive, and we were really excited. I was excited about this live animal, and then now it was a dead animal. And so Jackson is, you know, he feels things deeply, and so the way he was processing this shock was, you know, we were talking about, I think I felt it in my face, in my cheeks. I said, I can feel that in my cheeks and in my jaw. And then Jackson said, I feel really weak in my hands. You know, that feeling of like you just go a bit weak. He was having that experience. And so, and he, you know, it wasn't very comfortable for him. And I said, can you find the space, or like, can you find the space in your shoulders? Or another way to ask that is the weak bit in your shoulder, or is it just in your hands? So what they're doing is they're identifying to say, where is this feeling? It's in the hands, yes, but where else is it? Or where is it not? Right. So finding that contrast. So this could be great for Ellie. You know, sometimes if something's, you know, a threat, a perceived threat, and a feeling can be a perceived threat. Same with Chloe, Jane. You might find just directing them to their feet where there's probably no feeling, no sensation. This is about what we call this is holding opposites. So they're holding space they're noticing the threat, which is the feeling, and also the no threat, which is the space. So and another, actually that's for next. Well, I'll tell you now because it kind of goes really well. And what you can do is you can breathe with a feeling, which is a supporting skill, which is for next module. Which means that Jackson could have breathed in as he put his attention on the weak feeling in his hands, and then breathed out as he put his attention on his feet. So just breathing in with you just simplify it for kids. Okay, breathe in with your hands, breathe out with your feet. Breathe in with your hands and do some gestures, hand gestures, to help them stay focused. Now, what happens every time typically, most of the time, when you breathe with a feeling like that, it'll start to process and soften. So that's a supporting skill. So that's for next module, but it goes really well with the space. Now, another thing I said to Jackson, which goes with the next example, the next question here is, does it want to get harder, tighter, heavier? The way I explained it to Jackson was I said, the more that we try and make your hands not weak, the more the weak part is going to stay. So what we do with feelings, and give them context and say, the more that we make friends with our feelings, the more they'll process and let go. You might not use the word process with young kids. So what I said to Jackson was, yep, just let your hands be as weak as they need to be. It's like seeing our body parts as people, and they want to be weak, and we just let them be as weak as they want to. And you might like to say to them, they're not going to be weak forever, but the more you just let them be weak, the more they're just you know, I'm trying to think of a different word for processing, but it's you know, what they are doing is in that moment he was processing this shock and this loss of losing this animal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And Bronte, it's brought to mind a question. I don't know if I've thought or read anything about this, but does this work the same with an injury? Like if a kid stubs their toe, like should we be supporting them to feel that feeling, and not like, rather than, I'll just give it a rub and try and distract them.
It can be, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I prepared for childbirth.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
breathing with the sensations. Yeah, absolutely. Like the more that you can help your child feel safe with what is arising for them. Absolutely. Because we know that the pain of stubbing your toe does go away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hold it lightly. I'm not against distracting, because I was sometimes that seems like the right fit for me. But then yeah, other times absolutely, I think you can do both. It's a bit of a dance and a balance as usual with lots of things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking of a few situations with Ellie and when her reaction far outweighs what's actually happened. And I think naturally sometimes I've sort of been drawn to bringing her attention back to what's actually hurting and showing her it's not that bad, like this is, and sort of encouraging her to feel it and it's going away. And that helps. So yeah, I'll think about that some more.
It does help?
Yeah, I think it has. I think
okay, that's good then.
Yeah, I think it does seem to just bring her back into the moment rather than things just escalating and she's screaming her head off and probably forgotten what she's screaming about.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, it's not even bleeding, and let's feel, where's it hurting? How bad is it? How big is it? Yeah, so it's kind of the same kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can bring a bit of play in it as well. Like, can you feel it in your head or can you feel it in your knees? You know, and she'll probably go, no, Mum.
Can we have a look? Has the toe fallen off?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yep. No, and always, it sounds like, you're finding ways that do work for her.
Yeah, and I guess I've probably done that with physical stuff, but not so much, the thoughts and feelings side of feelings.
Yeah. So the first entry point, as I've said, is the feeling, and it's very exciting when you start when kids can do this. It's like, oh cool, they don't have to wait until they're 20, 30. They can actually do this. So it's just a way in. It's a way out of their head and then into the embodied experience. So these next questions, does it want to get harder, tighter, heavier? So in my example just before, it was more like I explained to Jackson. I didn't pose it as a question. I just said, so this is where you can use it however it's going to help you in the moment. So you could give them context, you could explain to them, or you can just simply ask the question. If it's, let's just say it's that warm, bright feeling, you can say, it doesn't have to be a bad or challenging feeling. It can be a great feeling. And you can say, does that warm feeling want to get bigger in your body? Does it want to take up your whole body? Is it that excited? It wants to just jump out of your skin. It's like what you're inviting your child to get behind the feeling, rather than trying to control the feeling or make the feeling do something, because we can't actually make our feelings do anything. We can suppress them and repress them, but the power comes from actually getting behind the feeling and allowing, can you believe this body knows exactly what to do with the feelings? It's our minds that are like, we've got to get rid of this feeling. But the more we actually play and trust that this feeling knows exactly what to do, then the feelings aren't a threat anymore. So you can pose this question: can you make friends with this feeling, even with the warm happiness in your child's body? It's, again, this doesn't have to be a fight. We can play, we can have fun with our feelings. So you can say, do you want to make friends with this feeling? If this feeling would wanted to say something to you, what would that be? That's another kind of supporting, inquiring skill, actually. But can you say to the feeling, thank you for being here? Can you tell it can stay here for the rest of the day? You can also say, can you say to this feeling, I love you? Those 3 words are such challenging words for adults to say. If we can invite our children to learn how to say those words to themselves, to a part of themselves, then yeah, I think that will hold them in good stead for the future to offer that self-love. So how's all that landing?
Yeah, good, Bronte. Good. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's
Oh,
just so good to hear the practical
yeah.
version of it all.
Yes.
I don't know, like I guess with what I've tried with Ellie so far, I've definitely been asking more about her feelings, particularly around when she's feeling excited about something. But I'm either met with silence or, I don't know, everywhere.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So it does take, it depends on the moment. It depends on the mood the kids are in, how much energy they have, whether they're hungry, tired. It's okay developmentally for some kids to not know how they're feeling. Maybe they just don't have words for it. You know that the feelings wheel, like we wouldn't use the whole like the full spectrum of emotions that are on the feelings wheel. So why would our children? When I was a prep teacher, we were teaching about 4 emotions. But we know from the human experience, there are so many different states, emotional states that we can experience. So it's okay if they don't say anything, it's okay. And this is what I'm saying. This can just be, you might just drop and plant the seed, once a week or maybe once a month. This is not an intensive, right? You're going to learn how to process thoughts and feelings. It's like you just have this library of information and you can just drop seeds, plant seeds.
Yeah.
And then the other side is I can feel it everywhere. Yep. So I definitely have that as well. With adults, we always use the space around the body. And Ellie, this might help Ellie as well. So she always has space outside her body, even if she feels like it is everywhere inside her body. People, Ivy often, yeah, actually not often, but sometimes she'll say, it's everywhere, and that's just a bit of a sign of dysregulation. So remembering to be able to rest with the thoughts and feelings, your nervous system needs to be in this rest digest state.
Yeah.
Right? So for us to ask questions like, well, is it hard or soft, or is it moving or still? They will not be able to answer those questions if they're out of that window of tolerance.
Of course. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's like, forget all this stuff, forget this, and go back to the co-regulation.
Yeah.
And that could just be like playing a game or sensory input, or whatever will help her move into that place of rest digest.
I think for me, part of it is learning to identify moments when she might be feeling something in a moderate way, because her feelings and, like, I guess her expressing her feelings is done in such an extreme way that often, like, it is one end of the spectrum or the other, extreme excitability and dysregulation in an excited manner, or extreme anger or fear or whatever it is. So everything's so extreme. So I guess we just spend so much time just enjoying the moments when things are regulated that I probably need to switch on then to be thinking about what's going on in those moments as well.
You could. That depends on what you need, Penny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just need a breather, then give yourself a breather. But in saying that, maybe you're in the bath together and maybe everything's calm, and maybe it's just a moment where you model something like, I love having baths with you. I can feel that in my cheeks and my eyes.
Ah, perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
So she's,
Yeah.
she's connecting the dots through you.
Yeah. We had a moment just like that last night. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, see exactly how I can fit that in. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Thank
So
you.
let's have a little practice now, everyone. So think about something that that makes you smile in your life right now.
Yeah.
And taking some slow, deep breaths and allowing that feeling to unfold as you think about how grateful or joyful you are with that part of your life. And then start to notice where you can feel that feeling in your body. And it might be multiple areas. And then start to describe the sensation if you can. So that could be it's wavy, or it's like a bubble, or it's like tingles, or warmth, or jumpy, or I can't think of any others. Now find where that feeling ends in your body. So find the space around it. If you put your attention above the sensation, you'll find space where there is no sensation. And if you put your attention below that sensation, you'll find space where there is no sensation. Or maybe you can feel that sensation running into that space, and that's okay too. Because sometimes these sensations want to move and express themselves. Can you find space to the left of the sensation? And that could be inside the body or outside the body. Sometimes sensations will span right to the sides of your body, and you can, there's no space inside the body, but there's always space outside the body. Maybe you can find space to the right of the body or outside the body. Now, the next question to ask is, does this sensation want to move into the space around it? And notice how it feels. Notice if it wants to move, spread, or stay exactly where it is. Either way is fine. Now, what you're doing here is being curious and mindful with this feeling, allowing it to move and express itself just as it needs to, and process. You're also perhaps enjoying the experience of being with your feelings, which can be a deeply satisfying experience where you feel connected to yourself. And you can say also to this feeling, verbally or mentally, thank you for arising. You can stay as long as you like. I feel you. I see you. I'm with you. I love you. Noticing how that sensation has responded. To your love and compassion. Okay, and coming back when you're ready, and I'll just open up the space there for any comments or insights, shares. How was that for you to rest with the good feeling?
I had a bit of trouble finding where it was in the body. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe it's because I tried to manufacture it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
That's how you make it feel.
I don't know. Yeah.
Would you like some support here, Locke, to find the feeling?
No, I think it's probably just doing, like being conscious and trying to do, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So you
Sure,
mind?
I'm sure it'll be fine when I've got more negative feelings.
Yeah, well,
There'll be a feeling there. In the
yes,
body.
I was going to say that actually, that
Yeah.
I myself found it, harder to work with because, comfortable feelings, they process more quickly. Whereas a challenging emotion absolutely will probably stick around in a more prominent way.
Yeah.
I found that as soon as you said think of something that made you smile, something just made me smile so big, and then that just kind of disappeared, and I found it really hard to narrow in on it.
Yeah, sure. And that's another typical response of it processing it so quick that you just don't need that support, right, of these questions. Okay.
Okay.
So I tried thinking of sort of a few different things. I was like, I'm not really getting anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's all good. We can absolutely work with the uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah.
Jane, what about you?
I guess, yeah, sort of similar, I suppose, but I found it hard to describe. Like, well, at the time I just felt relief, but I don't really know how to describe that as such, because it just felt like a relief to have a good feeling, I suppose.
Yes.
But I can't really describe it, and the whole space thing, I'm still trying to get my head around where it starts and stops.
Okay. Yeah. And that, again, could be tricky when the charge is not so strong, when it's, it's a good feeling. It's like, I'm not sure. It just kind of feels good in the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. What did you originally? Oh, yeah, how to describe it? Relief is okay. Like, again, I don't want to be so hard and fast that you can't use the word relief. It's like, great, that's so great that there was a relief. And I think this is let's work with something challenging now.
Bronte, can I ask how it affects you? Because I noticed as soon as we started doing that, I just started yawning uncontrollably, and I yawned the whole time. Like, is that kind of part of it when you're just really tired, and this natural rest stuff just tends to make me really sleepy at the moment? But,
and Penny, you're sleep deprived, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So that's your body is just wanting sleep. So there's no surprise there for me, that you're just tired. The other things that the yawning is attributed to is yawning is a way of processing. So a lot of adults that I work with, there you go, Locke. Speaking of,
that's pretty good.
People often do yawn as a way of processing their emotions out of their body. It's quite interesting. Another thing to be mindful of is that yawning and falling asleep can be a coping mechanism to numb out, to distract yourself, to, it's a shutdown. It can be a shutdown response. So it's like, I'm too tired. My Beyond Belief course for adults that I run, I've heard a few people say, I just can't get through the videos, I'm too tired. So it's can be like a bit of a shutdown coping mechanism. But again, hold that lightly. You're probably just really tired, Penny.
That's it.
Can I just add to that as well? Because I reckon I feel really tired as well, but I also think because you've got a very calming voice.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that probably adds to it as well, because
Yeah.
I think you feel relaxed listening to it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's good. Thanks, Jane. All right. So let's shake it up a bit. So what's really doing your head in? Something that is, your most challenging part of your life right now. Could be to do with parenting or something else. This is not something that you need to share on the call. If you don't want to, you can share what you would like. So pick something, and again, you can be mindful with what you choose. Perhaps you don't choose the most traumatizing thing that you need to look at one day, or maybe it's something in the middle that has some kind of charge, something that's challenging. Now, has everyone got something? Okay, has everyone got something to work with? And this is always voluntary if you, yeah? Oh, cool. Awesome. Okay, so when you think about this challenging thing, now this is a little bit different to how we normally do KI, because we always process the words and pictures first, because we don't want to be in the pain of the story. But right now, what I'm really I'm encouraging you to focus on is how to rest with feelings. So again, I just want to say, if it feels like too much, then choose something a little bit less, with less of a charge. Does that make sense? But you need to work with something that has some charge. Just want to make sure everyone's safe here with what they've chosen. Everyone happy to go ahead?
Yeah.
Yep, beautiful. All right, so as you conjure up and think about this aspect of your life, perhaps you've got words in your head that you can hear, perhaps you've got people or pictures in your mind, maybe it's memories, maybe it's a projection of what could happen in the future. Now, as you do that, as you think about this problem, then just notice the changes in the body, starting to notice where you can feel the sensations in the body as you think about this problem in your life, this issue that you're dealing with. So first of all, where is that feeling in your body? Now, start to find the size of that feeling. So notice where that feeling ends. So if you go above it, you'll find where it ends up the top, and you'll find space beyond that. If you take your attention to the bottom of the sensation, you'll find space below that. And find the space to the left and to the right. Now, as you notice that sensation, is it hard, or is it tight, or is it heavy, or is it something else? Does it have a color? Is it moving or still? Does it want to move into the space around it? Or does it want to stay where it is? Either way is fine. Now, for any hard sensation, can you make it harder just by looking at it? Can you give it full permission to be as hard as it wants to be? If it's a tight sensation, can you make it tighter just by looking at it with your feeling eyes? If it's a heavy sensation, can you make it heavier just by looking at it? generally, just a hot tip, any heavy sensations generally want to drop lower in the body. So notice if it's a heavy sensation, doesn't want to go lower in the body. Can you make friends with this feeling? Can you say to the feeling either verbally or mentally? Whenever you say it verbally, it has more of a response generally. Can you say to this feeling, thank you for being here? You can stay here as long as you like. I love you. I feel you. I'm with you. So you've just practiced resting with this feeling without trying to get rid of it, just being with the experience and cultivating a sense of safety with this experience. So just a snapshot. Hey, Frankie.
Hi.
Great to see you.
You too.
Okay, so Frankie, I've just taken the others through how to rest with a feeling to do with a problem that or an issue that they're dealing with in their lives. So I'll just open up the space again for some shares and comments, insights, reflections on that.
Sorry, we've been hiding in the dark.
Yeah. So how was that? Was there a little bit more to work with then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could feel, I can share. I could feel it in my tongue and throat and sort of part of the way down my chest, and then concentrating on it kind of brought it back to just really my tongue and mouth area. Kind
Beautiful.
of tingly and it sort of all felt a bit numb to start with.
Yes.
And then it was just really tingly and fuzzy, fizzy.
Yes. Great words. Fuzzy, fizzy, tingly. Yeah. So the more that you can experience this, the more words you'll have. Even actually a great activity for you guys to do with your kids is to list I'm going to do this with my kids. Have a big poster on the wall and put all the feelings, like the descriptive words for feelings. Fizzy, fuzzy, tingly. These are the words we're looking for.
We've got a huge poster on the wall. I forget the brand of the book who does it. There's a book called The Rower's Way. And it's all about feelings. And so we've got these huge posters of the names of the feelings. And how awesome would that be to go beside it of how they feel?
Yes, exactly. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Bronte, there you go. You need to come up with something like that.
Oh, there's never ending ideas in my head. I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Cool. So Penny, you just described something really typical. So that the feeling was in your tongue and then down your throat, and then the more that you brought attentiveness and curiosity to the sensation, it generally does then condense to a smaller surface area. So you know how the kids are like, this feeling's everywhere. When you help them be with the feeling, it will generally starts to formulate, just one location.
Yeah. Cool.
Good. And Locke, how'd you go with that?
Yeah, I could definitely feel that one more so. All just in the chesty kind of area. Yeah.
Beautiful. Great. And did it feel safe to have that sensation there in your chest?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. because if it doesn't, and if the sensation doesn't go away, that's why we have the supporting and inquiring skills, which is what you'll focus on in the next module.
Yeah.
So this is just a snippet of what you can use. But in saying that, most of the time you and your kids will just need these two skills. Identify where it is and rest with it.
Okay.
Just resting with it will help it process and dissolve. It's very cool. And Jane, what about you?
Definitely felt it in the back of my throat, down my neck and into my chest. Definitely
Yes.
felt it moving, and yeah, sort of went away, came back, but feel like I've still got it. It's very tight.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess.
Yep.
Again,
Okay.
that whole descriptive thing, still working on. Need to get that poster.
Yep. 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 It's a good idea. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Cool. Good. So Jane, feelings don't always just go when we put our attention on them. Sometimes they feel stuck. And if they are stuck, they're still on your side and they're here to either give you a message or they have a purpose. So it could be that this feeling is protecting you. I know Frankie and I talked about this on the last call, that feelings can protect us. So it's never a bad thing when a feeling is stuck, as much as we want these feelings to go away. They either have a message or they have a purpose for being here. So in your case, Jane, I would invite you to focus on the supporting and inquiring skills, which is what you'll focus on next module. I just don't want to give you too much information.
Sure.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
That's okay. And in the meantime, sometimes we don't have the time to use supporting and inquiring tools. And so in that moment, you can use something like, you can speak to the feeling and say, that's okay. You can stay with me for the rest of the day. Come with me. Come and do the shopping with me. And that approach is like you are taking that aspect of you with you, rather than like, oh, it's there and I want it to go. It's actually, you're practicing a sense of acceptance, and that generally does soften the emotion, perhaps not fully, and we don't want it to go fully if it's got something here for you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's working for you no matter which way you look. If it goes, great. If it's staying, it has something for you. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Any questions? No. All right. So we'll finish with processing, using the identifying skills and resting skills with thoughts now. Okay. So I know that we've talked a bit about the boomerang technique, and to remind you, the boomerang technique will help you get to the root of your problem. And to give you a little bit of context, when you start talking to your kids about the boomerang would be around grade 5, grade 6. So like 10, 11, 12, I would start. That's, it's just not, yeah, perhaps perhaps deficiency stories is something that you will talk about and offer context to with younger kids, but it's not necessarily something that you'd actively work with kids under about 10. So Frankie, what we're doing is I'd like everyone to think about the problem that they have in their life. So Frankie, have a think about something that you're challenged by, an issue that you have. And I want you all to pose this question to see if you can find what is the deficiency story that's driving this problem. So I'll give you an example. It's Maggie's birthday today, and my mother-in-law was on the phone, and I felt this like contraction in my body, this twang and like, tensing up. And I think I was trying not to eavesdrop. But I think my mother-in-law said something like, and Bronte was working today, was she? And the fact that I was working on my daughter's birthday, when I asked this question, the boomerang question is, if that was to say something about me, what would that be? And the answer is, I'm a bad mother. Because I have this story that I should be dropping everything and being with my child on her birthday. So do you see what I've just done? So the deficiency story is I'm a bad mother, and I've that's come to my awareness from using the question, if that was to mean something about me, something negative, we're going for the negative, what would that be? So I'll pop it in the chat box, and then just take some moments here to think about the problem that you're looking at tonight and ask yourself this question. If this situation was to mean something about me, what would that be? Or you can chop out me with life. If this situation was to mean something about life, what would that be? So it could be life is too hard, life is unfair. And I'll give you a little bit more reminder of the core deficiency stories. Stories like I'm unworthy, unwanted, unsafe, there's something wrong with me, I'm unlovable, don't belong, or I'm alone. They're similar. So they're core deficiency stories. So take some time now to just, raise that issue. And as you might even like to put the picture of a picture of the situation up on the screen so you can see it, and then you can pose yourself this question. If this situation was to say something about me, what would that be? And just from that quiet place, starting to notice what rises to the surface. And feel free to write any stories, any thoughts that arise. Reach out if you need some help. Okay, so has everyone got an idea of the deficiency story that's driving the issue in your life? Yeah.
Yeah, that all came up far too easily.
Oh yeah, well,
No,
it's a good thing.
normally I find it hard to
Mm-hmm.
work out what it means.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yep. So the more that you do this, the more aware you will become. It will just, comes really quickly. And then, because you know it's there, you're aware of it, you can process it. Jane and Frankie, do you need a hand with this at all? You're okay?
Yeah, I just think I'm coming in a little bit cold, so I'm
yeah. Need some
trying
time
to
to move into that place.
Yeah, trying to find something useful or worthy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
like trying to pick the needle out of the haystack.
Okay.
Just
Well,
need to just
yeah. Well, also we can have stories about, you know, how chaotic or how overwhelming, or there's, you know, too many things, right? We can even use that because that's a thought in itself, right? So is that, you know, if the fact that my life was like a whole haystack, if that was to say something about me or about life, what would that be? Life is. Has anything come there, Frankie?
yeah, I tried to grab onto too many things because I think I've said that before. Like it's just too much.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so I don't know, just turning that, well, what does that mean to me? But nothing's really clearly jumping out, but it just feels like the overall life is just overwhelming.
There you go. That's what it is. That's the story about life. That's the deficiency story. So it's the deficiency story will either be about you or about life. So it's life is a projection of how you're feeling. So right now it's too much. Do you go
Yeah.
with the words that are coming? And that's perfect. Life is too much. So they're your words. Yep. All right. So I'm going to you're right there, Jane. Yep. I'm going to share my screen again back to the worksheet. So Frankie, this, if you haven't seen it, please print it out. And this is what we've been focusing on tonight and in module 5. So the first 2 skills that you and your children are learning are to identify the thoughts and feelings that are here. So you've just identified the thoughts. Okay. And the second skill is to rest with the thoughts. So that means rather than getting going down the rabbit hole of the story and being in the chaos and the overwhelm of the story, what you're doing is you're moving into a place of curiosity and mindfulness with and practicing a sense of acceptance and compassion with these words that are in your head, with these thoughts. So the thought that you have, your thought the thought might have come through pictures, but let's focus on the words of the deficiency story. So you've all got a deficiency story now. So you've already identified what the thought is, or the deficiency story is, and now we're going to do this. So I'll just read through these first and then I'll guide you how to do them. So you shoot the words up onto that imaginary screen so you can notice these words. This is how you practice mindfulness with words, with thoughts. And you can ask yourself, are the letters in capital or lowercase letters? Are the letters big, small, or in the middle? Are the letters close up or far away? Are the letters in a colour? Are the letters 2D or 3D? Are the letters in the middle of the screen, to the side, or somewhere else? Can you notice the curves, lines, shapes, and colours that make up these letters? Now, and then I'm going to ask you to draw a frame around the words that you can see so you can find the space, which will always help you feel safe with these thoughts that you're processing. And you can also say to these words, thank you for arising. You're welcome to be here as long as you like. I see you. I hear you. I'm with you. I love you. all of that will help you stay with the experience rather than resisting the experience. Actually just be with it and process it and allow it so it will fall away. The more you resist it, the more it persists. So you're ready to have a go with this now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll guide you through a short stint of natural rest, and then I'll ask you to put your deficiency story up onto the screen in front of you, and I'll guide you through these questions. Okay, so closing your eyes when you're ready, ensuring you're in a comfortable and upright position just to help with that attentiveness at the end of the day. Starting to listen to the sound of my voice, as if you've never heard the sound of my voice before. And you might even notice the sound of silence in between my words. Now put your attention on the space behind your body. And now put your attention on the space in front of your body. Now in front of your eyes, shoot the words of your deficiency story up on the screen in front of you, on this imaginary screen, so you can see how those words are written. Now, as you look at that deficiency story written on that screen, notice if the words are in capital letters or lowercase letters, or both. Notice if those letters are big, small, or in the middle. Notice if those letters are close up or far away. Find out if those letters are in a color. See if those letters are in 2D or 3D. Where are these letters positioned? Are they in the middle of the screen, or to the left, or to the side, somewhere else? Can you notice the curves, lines, shapes, and colors that make up these letters? Now open your eyes for a sec so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw a frame with my fingers around the words. So the words are inside the frame. So close your eyes and do that. Now move your head up above the frame and you'll find space where there are no letters. Now bring your attention back to the letters and notice how they look there now. Now move your head down below the bottom part of the frame and you'll find space where there are no letters. Now bring your attention back to the letters. Now find the space to the left of the frame. You can move your head if that helps you. Now bring your attention back to the letters. Now put your attention on the space to the right of the frame now. You can move your head if that helps. Just resting with space, as if nothing else exists but space. And then bringing your attention back to the letters, just noticing how those letters look now. Just by being mindful and staying curious with these letters here, you're resting with thoughts. This is how you befriend your mind. So can you say to these letters, thank you for arising. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. I love you. I see you. I hear you. I'm with you. Now notice how that space is cocooning and embracing those letters just as they are. The space isn't trying to change or fix or get rid of these letters. This space is always unconditionally loving, supporting, and being present with these letters. Now, some of you will find that you can't see these letters anymore. Some of you might notice that the letters are translucent, or maybe they've gotten smaller, maybe they've faded, maybe they've creatively left in some incredible fashion. Some of you might find that the words aren't budging and that they're staying exactly the same. And all of the above is perfect. If they look exactly the same, they might need the supporting and inquiring skills, and that's not a sense of failure. These are just words that need more love, care, and attention. So, honoring yourself for this great work that you're doing, your attention, and coming back when you're ready. And I'll open up the space for any shares, reflections, comments on how that was for you to rest with your thoughts. Perhaps a challenging thought.
Excuse me. Yeah, I've struggled with this idea of being able to see words and things. But that time it was so clear. I couldn't actually see words, but I knew they were there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes, it does make complete sense. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's how everyone experiences it or whether you're actually seeing the words, but I just see it's like black and yellow kind of light.
Yep.
But I knew, for me, it was that I'm hopeless, and I knew that I'm was in lowercase and hope was in uppercase and less was in lowercase.
There you go.
Yeah, so that
was
really, really interesting. And then as we went on through it, it changed font and just became like all kind of italics, like
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful, 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 Penny. That's so exciting.
That was really interesting because I'm like, I can't see this. Like, I'm not seeing this. And I was drawing a box around nothing. Like, I know it's off just to the left. I can't see. I know that's where it is.
Yes, yes, that's good. Yeah. So it's different for different people. You know, I've worked with visual designers, graphic designers, and they're all so visual. Frankie's an artist, so she was very visual last time. For me, sometimes I'm the same as you, Penny. It's like when I imagine myself looking at those, it's this kind of language. I'm imagining that I'm imagining what those words would look like if I could see them. That's the language I use sometimes because it's not so clear. And when I use that kind of language, I get a sense of if I saw them, they would look like this, similar to what you're saying. If I saw them, they'd be in a capital here and a lowercase there and that color there. So that's okay. That's good. And the thing is the idea is that it does process, not that we're trying, it does dissolve. So if you can't see it, that's okay. Just come straight to the body.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make them stay here forever. You're just really acknowledging them. So then you can get to the juicy part in the body. That's where the somatic healing happens.
Yeah.
So that's great. And those words, you know, such big words. And when we look at words like this and they're changing font, and really we can expect these words to just, you know, come on, let's move these words on. But no, these are words that we've held for so many years, right? So it's like we expect them to just go straight away, but actually the way to heal this is to keep saying, yes, I see you, I love you, right? And I think, Frankie, you might have had the idea of, oh, the words too much have come up again. I'm going to say to all of you, the same words are going to come up over and over and over, and that's a good thing. Right? The amount of times I've looked at, I'm a bad person, or I'm a bad parent, or I'm a loser, or more recently it's I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. It's a bit of a seasonal thing. I find it's like I'm bad, I'm a loser, I'm a loser. I'm unworthy, I'm unworthy. It's this cyclical thing. So don't feel like you're failing if the same words come up. It's just cool. Yep, you're here and I see you and I love you and I'm going to love you the whole time that you're here. And what do you need? Can I get you a cup of tea, fresh towels? You want to take the master bedroom? You know, it's that energy of, yep, you are the most important thing right now. I see you and I'm with you. Not the go away, I don't want to hear you, because you're really abandoning yourself, doing that part of yourself. The more you keep saying yes to that aspect of yourself, that's where the healing happens, because you're returning to wholeness. You're moving toward wholeness. That's what healing is. Thanks, Penny.
No worries. Thank you.
Who'd like to share next?
I had the words like unsupportive, and I could see it very clearly, very big capital letters, fonts and everything.
Yes.
But by the time we went off to the space, left, right, they'd sort of disappeared and dissolved.
There you go.
So I think it works.
Isn't it amazing? Yes. So some words will just fall away that quick. And then the next step then is to go to the body. You take a deep breath, slide into the body, and then start to feel what physical sensations you can feel. That's it.
Okay.
Because you're a parent, you don't have time to do that all the time. So you might just look at the word unsupportive. You might just hear in your head, I'm unsupportive. Okay, so you put it up on the wall as you're having breakfast, or put it, you know, I can do it. It's taken me a while to know, to not know, but be able to do this, but I can put it in the air as I'm walking. So it's just in your mind. You're just noticing, oh yeah, it's in capital letters. It's in this color. I can see it's this shape, this size. Thank you for being here. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. You can stay all day. You can stay as long as you like. It can just be that simple. It doesn't have to be this. Okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to practice KI now. It's like, okay, I can hear that my mind is saying that I'm unsupportive, and I'm going to hold that with a gentleness and love and care. But these questions that we've been using, like how big is it, what's the size, the shape, that helps you to stay focused and be mindful. Beautiful, Jane. It's very exciting. You're all getting it. It's so cool. And I'm a little bit sad that I won't be on the rest of the calls.
Me too.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, we'll miss you, Bronte.
Oh, thank you. And Hanukkah and Phil are amazing as well. So and they're hanging out to meet more of you as well. So
yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. Locke and Frankie, would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, it was. I could definitely see the words disappear.
Yes.
By the end of it. It just kind of happened, which was cool.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. It can be that simple. Just asking a series of questions. So please print it out.
Yeah.
Print it out and have a go. So it's just the top 4 that we've been doing tonight. The top 4. And then the bottom 4 are the next module for when thoughts and feelings are stuck. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really great. And the more that you do this, the more confidence you'll have. You'll be like, okay, yeah, this actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And Frankie, how did you go?
Yeah, I think because I practiced it last week or last session, very similar. could see them pretty clearly, but they were already on the blur and they were quite skinny. So I kind of knew that they were going on their way out. And
Yep.
yeah, they just kind of floated around and they didn't quite dissolve, but it was a feeling of, no, I'm done with you now. You're not important anymore. Everyone's,
Yes.
you know, I didn't need to. Yeah, I understood them. I knew why they were there. I knew their purpose.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next bit. And that's when I started really feeling it in my body. It was like time to start working on that step. Yeah.
Wow. 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 That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is amazing. Yep. And that's it. And we do get lots of clarity and insight when we are mindful with the thoughts. Like Frankie, you were just talking about understanding, you know, where these thoughts are coming from. And it can really help with our sense of forgiveness or empathy for other people and situations, or even ourselves. Often, you know, we can berate ourselves for being a certain way in the past, but it's like actually just holding this experience with a gentleness can be like, well, I did that for a reason. I was protecting myself, or yeah, I was just being a kid, or yeah. And then to come to the body, that's the full experience. Yeah. So when you get to that you know, feeling of, yeah, it's kind of done, that's okay, that's great, that's all this is really. And then come to the body, great, come and feel, and you're just being with the experience. That's how you process your thoughts and feelings. It can be that simple. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I've really enjoyed this, especially tonight. It's really nice to see, yeah, these skills are coming together. So I'll just open up the space for any questions that you might have. It might be around your kids, how best to manage, you know, any scenario situations that they're in or they're having, or how to tackle, manage, yeah, what's coming up for you or your child, or if you have any questions about processing your thoughts and feelings using these two skills, identifying and resting, then I'll open up the space now.
A question, Bronte, you got to see a fairly regular little pattern of behaviour with my two girls this morning.
Yeah.
We popped over to Bronte's house, and you would have seen, I can't remember what Ivy did, that, she jumped on Ellie, that's right, and Ellie just withdrew in that panic state.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm just going to not put too much attention on it, because sometimes the attention tends to escalate things. And also I was trying to work out how to keep Ivy's pants on, because she's wanting to get nude.
Yes, in the rain.
Yeah, in the rain.
It's all happening.
It was all happening. And that's literally what it's always like here. It's just all happening.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in that moment, I really would have liked to have given Ellie some more support.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if there's any way you would have supported Ellie differently if Ivy wasn't needing so much of me right then.
No.
Yeah.
There's nothing,
No.
Penny. You're doing everything.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Doing everything possible. You can't meet every child's given needs in every given moment. You're doing it. There's nothing more that you can offer.
Yeah.
You're just doing it all and above.
Yeah. And I figured as much.
Yeah. And for you to be managing the behaviors and the needs of your girls every day like that, it's, you know, it's a really, really big job. And yeah, I'm just we're really happy just to support you in just being here with you through that.
Thanks, Bronte. Yeah. And look, it did work out all right. Nothing escalated. We might have been minus a pair of pants for the walk home. But
yeah, and that's a win.
But yeah, exactly. So yeah. Cool. Thank you. I just thought I'd check in, because that is something we see from Ellie a lot, that she just flicks into that, there's a monster, I'm scared, that real fear
Yep.
kind of response, and she backs away, and
Yep.
often any approach will only escalate things. But
Yeah.
let's work that out at the moment.
Yes, and I think part of this is letting go of needing to fix the coping mechanisms. It's actually her really intelligent way to support herself, to retreat in that way. And I think we can, if we're not mindful, we can be like, oh, they shouldn't be repressing, or they can't repress their emotions because they're going to end up like us. But it's like part of this is they've got to go through the pain of life. They've got to experience the challenge of life. And who are we to take that away from them to then, not see the contrast when they're older and they can start to unlearn some of this stuff. Just you being there with them in the moments, in the way that you are. That's, gosh, what a gift.
Yeah, that's been one of the good things out of the course, is just to know that it's normal and it's okay for them to have those, like, to go through that, to have the meltdown. Like, that's just what happens, and it's not. It's not I don't know whether this is the right word, but it's not a problem. Like, it's just it's part of the day. It's part of the natural progression. So.
Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly. They're not bad. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just a healthy, natural way that they are processing what is occurring. Yeah. I'm glad you've got that out of the course, Lachlan. It was a big it's a big learning.
It's a huge one.
Yeah, not to, and I think even just that part of it is like help to just let go of some of the tension, that, or to be there for them a bit more, and not have the feelings you might have had that could hold you back from giving them that space, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not trying to stop them or calm them down. Sometimes we fall into the trap of feeling like we have to calm our kids down all the time. We're actually, part of this process is to give them space just to have that expression. Thank you, Locke. And Jane, Frankie, do you have any questions or insights?
Maybe just a quick one, like we find sometimes with meltdowns, it's fine, but like the level of noise that comes out of it is just like you don't necessarily want to stop them from having the meltdown, but like, I don't know, it sounds silly, but like trying to like quieten them down. I don't know how to say it like nicely, but it's like next level sometimes, and I don't know.
Yeah, it hurts.
I don't want them to stop, but I just feel like it doesn't, like the whole neighborhood doesn't have to know about it either. But, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's a thing or.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways you could go about it. Like we talk about, like tonight I said to Ivy, if you're going to squeal that loud, you're going to have to go outside, and I'm happy to go out with you, but we don't make that noise in here because it hurts our ears.
Yeah.
Regarding as long as they feel safe in it, but it's okay to put a boundary in too and say, does she have some control? Because when I look at Ivy, I can tell that she has some control over the volume of.
I feel like she does, but I feel like she just wants everyone to know. She's in pain at that point.
Okay, so that's her need. Her need is she wants you to know how much pain she's in. Right. So the more that you hold space and go towards her and make it a big deal and say, this is horrible. I can't believe this has happened. If I was in your shoes, this would be so bad. Like if you match or even go over the top of her expression, she's going to feel hurt and be like, yeah. Have you tried that before, Jane?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Yeah, like get angry, get wild like her. Right? Match her experience, and she will feel connected and heard. She's doing it so you understand. So
Yeah.
it's like you show her that you understand through your own expression. Like,
Yeah,
this
okay.
is the worst. I can't believe this happened. This, you know, this is like the worst day ever. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you want to go to the extreme, like exaggerate the experience.
Yeah, okay.
And then the inquiry side of things is you can ask, what's the worst thing that could happen if the whole neighborhood knew what was going on?
Yeah. And that's the thing, I don't really care if the neighborhood knows. I just feel like,
Okay.
I guess when it's like hurting your ears, it's just like,
Hurting
like,
your ears, it's the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never bought them, but there are those you know, like earbuds you can buy.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
for parents.
Okay.
We've got them. We've got multiple pairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
right,
And
okay.
do they work? Are they good?
I'm still getting used to them. I find I struggle to cope with my internal noise when I wear them. So like your footsteps, your breathing, your speaking.
Yeah.
I find that a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely been times where I've gone, all right, you guys are hurting my ears. I'm just going to pop these in for a little bit. I can still hear you, but
yeah.
And I just have to add, we had a moment the other day with the squealing, and I actually, like, we were getting in the car and they were squealing their heads off, and I said, I'm just going to close the doors and just stay out here for a while. You guys squeal as loud as you can. and I could hear them. They had an absolute blast.
That's it. Yeah. Did it subside?
Yeah. And they were fine.
There you go, right? They just had that need. So it's like creating that space for them to have that need. You know, and it could be for Chloe, you know, perhaps she has, it is Chloe that we're talking about, right? Yeah. Perhaps she's, you know, she's done the good girl thing for the whole school day. She's kept everything contained, and then she's just letting it rip at the end of the day because she just can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty well what's going on.
Yeah. So what has helped me is almost expect that there's going to be a meltdown at the end of each day. So it's like, how can you recharge when the kids are at school so you are prepared for the 4 o'clock tantrum? Yeah. So it's like, how can you resource yourself so you have the energy and the capacity to stay with the squealing, or even, you know, help her. You can redirect the emotion, like if it's possible, like instead